You're listening to the 136th edition of the Bitachon podcast. We continue with one more pasuk in our chapter 31. Strengthen and fortify your hearts, all those who trust in Hashem. Says Rashi, Rashi says that King David is telling us, you need look no further for an example of somebody who trusts in Hashem and the trust works out than myself. I trusted in Hashem, and you can also trust in Hashem, because whoever trusts in Hashem, I prove it, says King David. Whoever trusts in Hashem, their trust is fulfilled. The Radak says, says the Radak, it's appropriate that those who love Hashem, those who feel a connection to Hashem, they should have incredible joy. They should have an awesome sense of joy. Because they see and they experience that whenever they trust in Hashem, Hashem protects them. And because of this fact, there's a joy, and it goes hand in hand with Bitachon. When we have Bitachon and we see that our trust works, we see that Hashem fulfills our requests, He fulfills our desires, He stands by His promise that those who trust in Him, He guarantees them. So we can all strengthen ourselves with that awareness, with that knowledge. I'm sorry, that's the Meir Tehillah, it's not the Radak. This is the Radak. This is an idea that we had previously. We mentioned that there's a tefillah. We ask Hashem, and I've been actually saying this in Al Tzadikim, which is the bracha of Bitachon. There's a tefillah that we say, Hashem, with simple Hashem, help us be from amongst those who trust you, because we know that you are the one who stands by the righteous who trust in Him. But not only that, the Radak is telling us, and this is something that we mentioned in the past, but I want to repeat again, Hashem, when we have Bitachon, Hashem strengthens our Bitachon. Sometimes it feels like I can't have Bitachon right now, it's just too hard, it doesn't seem like it's going to work. And Hashem says, you have Bitachon, and I'll take care of it. Chizku v'yamis lebavchem, as we'll see later on in the Meforshim here. When you strengthen yourself, Hashem strengthens you. Now he brings from the Sefer HaYikarim. V'alzeh haderech, roi shetia hatikva l'Hashem. This is what it looks like to hope to Hashem, to have Bitachon on Hashem. Sheyiyeh b'tech b'Bitachon shalim, sheyashlim tikvasa b'li safek. This sounds like the altar of Navardik. It means, said the Sefer HaYikarim, when I have Bitachon, when I hope to Hashem, when I say the word yesh tikva, it doesn't just mean there's a chance. It means there is hope. Not just that there is hope, there is a guarantee. I am sure, I'm absolutely certain that Hashem will fulfill that which I hope for. There's no doubt about it. Again, the same kind of idea. When a person has this kind of bitachon, when we recognize that if I trust in Him, He's going to help me, He's going to save me, He's going to take care of me. When I know that, I'm filled with joy. I'm filled with joy, absolute joy. The pasuk says, strengthen and, I forgot what I said earlier, fortify, strengthen and fortify your hearts, all those who trust in Hashem. Not only is it true that when I trust in Hashem, it doesn't weaken my heart, well, maybe I'm afraid that it won't work out. No, I'm absolutely certain that it will work out. And it strengthens me. When I strengthen my heart and I trust in Hashem, it strengthens me. Because somebody who puts his hope in Hashem, when the person leans completely on Hashem, Hashem is going to fulfill my request. I know it. I'm certain of it. I'm absolutely confident. I have no doubt in my mind. So it gives the person strength. He has more fortitude. Excuse me. You might observe that the young people who ordinarily have lots of strength, they might get tired. But those who hope to Hashem, they have never-ending strength. Because the moment that they trust in Hashem, Hashem gives them renewed strength. To pasuk in Yeshaya, Perek Mem, Psukim Lamed and Lamed Aleph. Even though children, young people, teenagers, they don't usually get tired. They could be up till who knows when in the morning. Children, older kids, they ordinarily renew their strength. Kulam kashali kashelim. They can all, or they will all, stumble and fall. They will get tired. Those who hope to Hashem, those who have Bitachon, it's a guarantee. If you have Bitachon, you're going to be strengthened. You're going to have renewed vigor. You're going to have renewed strength. And because of the fact it plays into itself, it's a back and forth. The pasuk is telling us, you can strengthen your heart with your bitachon. Why? Because you need to know that if you do it, your heart will be strengthened. You will have additional power. If you trust in Hashem, Hashem will strengthen you further. Since the one who I'm hoping in is Hashem, and Hashem is something, is a being that lasts forever. So this idea reinforces itself. I can have hope. I can believe. I can trust. And then it strengthens itself, because who am I trusting? I'm trusting in Hashem, who has all the power, who lasts forever, who is not like a human being. As we spoke about previously, this is what the pasuk is hinting to when it says, hope to Hashem, strengthen your heart and hope to Hashem. That it plays into itself, it reinforces itself. The hope itself is a reason why I feel strong. And the fact that I feel strong is a reason why I can hope even more, why I can have more and more bitachon. That's the Sefer HaIkar. Let me bring some of the Alshich. Inyan ki hayari ma'azula so bilti b'tech Hashem yichas. Look, we're human, right? We're human, and we fear. We get into situations where we're afraid. That's fine. That's normal. But it's because we're not trusting in Hashem. The fear comes because we're not trusting in Hashem. Ki'inin al tiro v'al tartzu. Pasuk says in Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 6, don't be afraid. Ba'meshel tiru al tartzu. This that you shouldn't be afraid. Al tartzu l'cheinu omer al tiru l'vneim pen achizcha l'vneim. It sounds like it's saying that the fear itself can cause a person to fall, which we've also encountered previously. It's an important idea. Sometimes the very fear, right? A terrible example of it, sad example of it. Person who's running because of a siren here in Israel, they could, if they're not careful, they could get hurt. They could get hurt because they're running and they trip. Chas v'shalom. The fear itself is what causes more problems than the actual thing that the person fears. But the opposite is true about somebody who strengthens himself. And I must mention that there's a cute little turtle that is walking towards me right over there. And sorry if I was distracted. It's the opposite with somebody who strengthens himself and he acquires his heart. He acquires his heart with bitachon. Because, and listen to this is important, because sometimes, like we said, sometimes it feels like, how can I trust Hashem? The situation seems too desperate, seems too impossible. The Alshach is telling us, you just need to trust Hashem a little bit. You start it, and then Hashem will finish it off for you. That's why the pasuk starts with saying, Chizku, strengthen yourself. And by strengthening myself, as best as I can, Hashem will strengthen me further. Hashem, all those, it's going to come from Hashem, this strengthening, this feeling of courage, this feeling of assuredness. Okay, two more things, and in this Rabbeinu Sadigan I'm about to read to you, there's something really amazing. Actually, maybe three more things. The Rabbeinu Sadigan says, "Shenakish hamoyadim ha'ela l'moyed harishon, she'yadenu v'yasenu mitzrayim." Sadigan is talking about the moyadim. He's talking about the times. So I believe, it's just a piece that's taken out of context, but I believe it's talking about, it could be talking about the moyadim of Yantif, which commemorate what happened in the past, but they're also they foreshadow something that's going to occur in the future, which is Mashiach, the Messianic age. So he says, if we look at the past, we can understand something about the future. We know in the past, we know when it came to Egypt, there were certain things that Hashem promised. Hashem promised Avram Avinu that Klal Yisrael would be in Egypt, they would be in servitude for a certain amount of time, for 400 years, and afterwards they would go out, B'rechush Gadol. They would leave with great wealth. Sheyadenu, sheyadon eslachatzenu mavidenu. And when Hashem takes us out, Hashem is going to judge the nation that has subdued us. Shiten l'rechush gadol b'lvad. And that He would give us only, He would just do these things. God would judge them and He would give us great wealth. Hashem didn't just give us enormous wealth, which He did give us, right? Klal Yisrael took all of the gold and silver of the Egyptians. But Hashem also brought us through the Yam Suf. That wasn't included in the promise. Hashem didn't say He's going to bring us through in a miraculous manner. He's going to take us out. Brought us through the Yam Suf. He gave us the man, the manna. He gave us the quail. Our Sinai. He gave us the Torah at the awesome experience of Mount Sinai. And Hashem caused the sun to stand still. And many other miracles. They weren't part of the original promise that He promised to Avraham. So certainly, says Rabbeinu Sadigan, when it comes to the promises that Hashem made, that all of these amazing things will happen to us in the future. All of this honor is going to happen to us. The Jewish people are going to be, 10 non-Jews will grab the four-corner garment of a Jew and say, take us with you, for God is with you. They're going to honor us. They're going to come to Jerusalem. They're going to pray in our Beis Tefillah, in our holy temple. They're going to respect and honor and recognize the greatness of the Jewish people in our Torah. Right? If we talk about how much good is supposed to occur in the future, so it's going to be many, many times greater than the amount of degradation that we've experienced. the amount that the New York Times has put down Israel, the amount of times that all of the different media outlets, the amount of times that the Jewish people were spat on and killed and forced to convert. Well, all the things that went on through our long history of Golus and exile. But the turnaround is going to be so much greater. It's going to be so much more awesome. Hashem compares all of the terrible things that we've gone through to a moment. It was a moment that I seemed to turn away from you. So I skipped. Right, but what Hashem is going to give us, that was just a moment. That was all just a moment, but it seems like so long. But what Hashem is going to give us is going to be incredible mercy, incredible kindness. So it's going to be much greater than what happened. So Hashem, just like when it came to Egypt, He gave us much more than He said He's going to give us. When it comes to the end of our Golus, when it comes to the end of our exile, we're going to receive an unbelievable, beyond any of our expectations, beyond anything that we could imagine. That's what we're going to experience. The Pasuk says in Dvarim chapter 30, it's speaking about the future time. Hashem will do good to you. He will make you greater than your forefathers. He will do good to you greater than your forefathers. And therefore, we go through, we experience, and we suffer through the sufferings that we know have to come. And we know we were promised that they would come. But we won't get upset. We won't get angry at God. When things go wrong, when on October 7th happens, when Klal Yisrael endures and goes through terrible times, we need to strengthen ourselves and know that the good times that are going to come later, they're going to be even greater. They're going to be so much greater. All of the terrible things that we experienced will flip around. Said that I've been inside again, and here I made a little star next to it because it's really quite amazing. Anyone who sees us, they look at us and they can't believe it. Or they think that we're fools. No one in history has had difficulties like the Jewish people have had throughout our time in exile. No one has experienced the trials and tribulations that we've experienced. And yet, no one, despite any trials that they've had, have held on to their belief as we have throughout all of this time. It's an incredible statement. It's an incredible statement. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's going to be amazing. Klal Yisrael is going to experience the most amazing experience. Soon, so soon. And he brings here from the Memor Agula, from the Ramchal, about this time, about the time of Geula, it says, it's going to be a time of difficulty. All of these challenges. This is in the 4th chapter of Deuteronomy, of Devarim. All these things are going to come out to us in the end of time. In order to encourage us, King David knew that we would indeed go through pogroms, inquisitions, holocausts, terror attacks. But he strengthened us and he said, strengthen your heart. Strengthen your heart. Get that fortitude. Fortify your heart. Because we need an incredible amount of emunah, of bitachon. As we've gone through all of these challenges throughout history, we've needed to hold on to our emunah. One day, it's going to happen. Because of the difficulty and the darkness of the times. Last point here from the Shari Chaim. Sometimes a person expects, hopes, is going to have the salvation from Hashem. And he doesn't feel like it came. He doesn't feel like it's working. Don't give up, says the Shari Chaim. The salvation may not arrive in the moment that I ask for it, but it will come. There's a promise, says the Shari Chaim. Every single darkness, there's an end to the darkness. At the end of every dark tunnel, there's a light at the end of that tunnel. There's no darkness that exists in the world that Hashem hasn't promised there will be an end to. The purpose of the darkness is just so that the light should be so much deeper and more beautiful. The purpose of the darkness is not for itself. This is what it means when it says, strengthen your hearts, all those who trust in Hashem. You too, those who fear Hashem, and you trust in Hashem, you also need to strengthen your heart, because sometimes it seems like you're not answered right away. Even those who trust in Hashem, also need to strengthen themselves in their Bitachon. Strengthen, fortify, strengthen, fortify. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you again next time.